In the previous chapter, Ken agreed to embark on his reincarnation journey, sparking an enlightening conversation about the nature of his new existence. Mr. Beginning and Mr. End explained that Ken would be reborn as a young person, not a newborn, and would not possess any special abilities. They emphasized the importance of character growth and overcoming challenges. Let's find out what new insights and preparations await Ken in this chapter as he edges closer to his reincarnation. Chapter 6. By Default. He paused for a moment and inquired, "Is there anything I will receive from you or not?" Mr. Beginning smiled and said, "Yes, you will get some abilities. Lucky for you. You only have a no-hex ability clause in your contract. We had some fun with the no abilities clause for the reincarnation of the last two guys, so we're doing this differently this time." Ken replied, "So the no-hex ability clause and the no ability clause are different?" "Yes, very self-explanatory, right?" Mr. Beginning asked, nodding in agreement. Mr. End continued, "We are going to give you a few minor talents, traits, or whatever you want to call them. You will still receive certain default abilities without our help, just like the last man." Ken looked at him. "Didn't you say you didn't give him any ability?" Mr. Beginning responded, "We didn't say that. Let's just say the last fellow had a particularly restrictive contract. We didn't say he couldn't learn from other sources. Also, there are inherent abilities you gain based on the new world you reincarnate in." The conversation took a curious turn as Ken sought clarification on the nature of his forthcoming abilities. The distinction between the no-hex ability clause and the no ability clause intrigued him, shedding light on the intricate workings of this otherworldly process. The subtle nuances of the contract he was about to enter into with Mr. Beginning and Mr. End became clearer, revealing a realm of possibilities that both excited and daunted him. "So, if I understand correctly," Ken began, his brow furrowed in concentration, "the no-hex ability clause prevents me from getting overpowered, game-breaking abilities, while the no ability clause would have left me completely ordinary." Mr. End nodded, his form shimmering with approval. "Precisely, Ken. We're giving you a chance to be extraordinary, but not to the point where it removes all challenge from your journey." Ken listened intently and wondered how he could miss such detail. He made a mental note to absorb as much information as he could, believing it would undoubtedly come in handy later. "It's a delicate balance," Mr. Beginning added, his voice taking on a thoughtful tone. "Too much power, and the story becomes dull. Too little, and the challenges might be insurmountable. We're aiming for that sweet spot where your abilities enhance your journey without overshadowing it." Ken was starting to understand the complexities of this process. It was clear that Mr. Beginning and Mr. End had their own set of rules and regulations, and that they were not always transparent about them. But he couldn't deny the excitement that was building within him. He was about to embark on a new journey, with new abilities and a new lease on life, and he couldn't wait to see what lay ahead. "I get some minor abilities from you, and some abilities default to the world I am reborn in," Ken remarked, trying to make sense of it all. Ken thought for a moment before sighing. "Okay, it's better than getting nothing." Before he could inquire further, Mr. End stated, "And before you have any unusual notions, there's also no system. You're on your own when it comes to figuring out how to use your abilities." He paused briefly before saying, "Those stories are getting boring." Ken wondered, "So I'm on my own?" A mix of apprehension and determination washed over him. The prospect of navigating a new world with unfamiliar abilities, without a guiding system, was daunting. Yet there was also a thrill to it, the challenge of self-discovery and growth. "Being on your own doesn't mean you'll be helpless," Mr. Beginning reassured, sensing Ken's unease. "It means you'll have the freedom to forge your own path, to discover the true extent of your capabilities through experience and perseverance." He then asked, "So, how many quirks or abilities may I select?" Mr. Beginning stated, "Previously, we planned to have a maximum cutoff of 10 credits for a single ability. However, after meeting with you, we decided to offer you a concession. You can select 2 skills that cost up to 15 credits. Consider it a gift." "Credits?" Ken repeated, bewildered. This is starting to sound like a video game. Mr. Beginning chuckled. Not entirely inaccurate. We like to keep things interesting on our end too, you see. Mr. End responded. There is also a total limit, so you don't have too many skills. Mr. End leaned in conspiratorially. We bumped up the limit for you, Mr. William. Now you've got a total of 75 credits to choose from. You can have basic abilities up to 10 credits each and a special bonus. 2 slots for premium abilities, costing up to 15 credits each. Also, you get to inherit the abilities of your past life. Like your brother said, consider it a reward for your lively spirit. Mr. Beginning went on. Having too many skills also takes away from enjoyment, so we came up with these limitations. This would automatically reject skills that are deemed excessively powerful. Ken's jaw dropped. He was taken aback by the amount of credits he had to work with, and the fact that he had abilities in the past. Shaken, he asked. This is not what I expected. So, I had some latent abilities in my past life. Mr. End responded. Yes, you did. How do you think you became such a great scientist? Mr. Beginning added. Now you have the opportunity to develop them even further. It's a rare gift, Ken. Don't waste it. Ken felt a surge of emotions, surprise, curiosity, and a hint of pride. The revelation that his scientific prowess wasn't just the result of hard work, but also innate abilities, was both humbling and empowering. These latent abilities, Ken began, his voice filled with curiosity. Were they something I was aware of in my past life, or were they working behind the scenes, so to speak? Mr. End's form rippled, with what Ken interpreted as amusement. A bit of both, actually. Some of your talents were obvious to you. Your analytical mind, your intuitive understanding of complex systems. Others were more subtle, influencing your decisions and breakthroughs in ways you might not have recognized. Ken had always been fascinated by the great minds of science. Memories of an illustrious career as a scientist flooded his mind, fueling his determination to uncover the latent potential that lay within him. He would spend hours reading about their discoveries, theories, and experiments. He would often wonder how they became so successful in their field and what made them stand out from the rest. The prospect of further honing these skills filled Ken with a sense of gratitude and awe at the profound opportunity bestowed upon him. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion, Mr. Beginning mused. Each ability you uncover will reveal new depths to your potential. Your journey of self-discovery in this new life will be as much about understanding your past as it is about shaping your future. Ken wondered and began thinking what his abilities could be. He theorized the set of abilities he may have had in his past life, and wondered how he could utilize and take advantage of this information. He pondered the implications of these latent talents and how they could shape his future endeavors. As he envisioned the vast potential that these abilities held, a newfound sense of curiosity and excitement bubbled within him. Also, the knowledge that he possessed inherent abilities from his previous life served as a guiding light, propelling him towards the pursuit of excellence in his newfound existence. Mr. Beginning pointed out behind Ken and said, "See that computer? You will find it useful." Ken looked back as he saw an old computer system a few feet from him. He wondered, was it always there? Mr. Beginning replied, "No. I conjured it as it will be familiar to you and easy to operate, so the ability selection will be easy for you." Mr. Beginning gestured towards it. "That little tool will help you choose your perks. We like to keep things user-friendly." Mr. End then said, "Now sit and choose your abilities. Take your time and choose wisely, dear Ken. These abilities will shape your new life." Ken approached the computer, a relic from his past life that now served as a bridge to his future. As he sat down, he felt a strange mix of nostalgia and anticipation. His fingers hovered over the keyboard, ready to type but hesitant to begin. "Before I start," Ken said, turning back to Mr. Beginning and Mr. End, "is there any advice you can give me? Any pitfalls I should avoid when making these choices?" Mr. Beginning's form seemed to soften, taking on an almost paternal air. "Remember, Ken, that true strength often lies in balance. Don't focus solely on abilities that enhance your intellect or scientific prowess. Consider skills that might broaden your experiences, deepen your connections with others, or challenge you in new ways. Mr. N nodded in agreement. And don't be afraid to embrace abilities that might seem unconventional or unrelated to your past. Sometimes the most unexpected talents can lead to the most profound discoveries and experiences. Ken settled into the chair in front of the screen, ready to navigate the array of choices laid before him, a sense of purpose blooming within him. This wasn't just a new life. It was a chance to build upon the foundation laid in his previous existence. The prospect of shaping his destiny through the selection of abilities filled him with a mix of excitement and contemplation, stirring a sense of responsibility to make prudent decisions that would align with his aspirations. Engrossed in the intricate dance of possibility and choice, Ken felt the weight of his decisions intermingling with the boundless potential that awaited him, creating a tapestry of possibilities waiting to be woven into the fabric of his reborn existence. Links to the other chapters are in description.